The Garden of Eden is remembered in the collective imagination as the cradle of humanity, a sanctuary of eternal peace and divine perfection. However, the reality is much more disturbing. If we were to attempt to cross its borders today, we would face a physical and spiritual impossibility that our current technology cannot comprehend. Much like the gas giants of our solar system, whose outer beauty conceals deadly conditions, Eden is not simply a place we have lost, but a territory that has been sealed by a force that science is only beginning to glimpse. The question that has haunted archaeologists and theologians for millennia is not only where it is, but why no one, not even with the most advanced resolution satellites or ground-penetrating radars, has been able to capture a single image of its interior. Eden might not be hidden behind a physical barrier, but behind a dissonance in the very geographical reality of our world. The book of Genesis provides us with 4 geographical coordinates that should be definitive: the Tigris, the Euphrates, the Pishon, and the Gihon. While the Tigris and the Euphrates continue to flow today over the lands of Iraq as silent witnesses to prehistory, the other 2 rivers simply vanished from modern maps, leaving behind a puzzle of epic proportions. Modern archaeology, using infrared satellite imagery, has detected what appear to be fossil riverbeds buried beneath the dense desert sands and the seabed of the Persian Gulf. However, something extraordinary happens when researchers attempt to track the confluence where these 4 rivers should converge. Upon reaching the mathematical point where Eden should manifest, science encounters a geographical blind spot, an area that seems to have been erased or edited out of material reality. This is where the scale of the investigation shifts, moving from the search for archaeological remains to the understanding of a space that, although it occupies a position on our map, appears to operate under physical laws entirely different from our own. If geography offers us physical clues, ancient texts warn us of a barrier that no human explorer has ever managed to overcome. According to the account in Genesis, after the expulsion of man, the entrance to Eden was not simply closed, but guarded by cherubim and a flaming sword that turns in every direction. But to understand this with the seriousness that a professional documentary deserves, we must move away from childish artistic representations and observe the original description: beings of a geometric and spiritual complexity that defy our understanding of biology. These guardians are not static winged figures, but interdimensional sentinels operating at a frequency outside our visible spectrum. The flaming sword could be interpreted as an energetic frontier, a distortion in the fabric of space-time that prevents any fallen or impure matter from resynchronizing with the purity of paradise. It is an active security measure that, much like the intense magnetic fields of Saturn that destroy any probe attempting to go deep into its core, disintegrates the intention and presence of anyone approaching the sacred threshold. The search for the real location of Eden forces us to look where others only see desolation. If we follow the fossil rivers detected by satellite, the evidence points to an area now submerged under the waters of the Persian Gulf, in a basin that 10,000 years ago was a fertile and protected valley. However, a second theory exists, backed by the geology of the highlands, which places paradise in the mountains of Armenia, near Mount Ararat, where the melting of ancient glaciers feeds the sources of the rivers we know today. This duality between the submerged desert and the unreachable mountain is not accidental. It reinforces the idea that Eden is a point of convergence between our physical reality and a divine architecture that does not obey the erosion of time. To understand the magnitude of what we are looking for, we must perform an exercise in scale that humbles any human construction. Just as Saturn measures more than 700 times the size of planet Earth, the original structures of Eden were not simple gardens, but a network of monumental ecosystems whose harmony spanned thousands of kilometers. Imagine trees whose canopies brushed the limits of the atmosphere, and rivers whose mineral purity emitted a light that we would today consider supernatural. This monumental scale explains why our modern cities seem like mere shadows compared to the original design humanity inhabited before the fall. At the end of this journey, the conclusion is as inescapable as it is unsettling. The Garden of Eden is not a place we have lost on the map, but a state of being from which we have been disconnected. Attempting to find it with human tools is like trying to touch the surface of Saturn, expecting to find firm ground. The very nature of the place rejects our current reality. Expeditions, satellites, and archaeological theories only manage to brush the shadow of something that is, by definition, unreachable for fallen man. However, Eden is still there, pulsating at a frequency that our senses can no longer tune into, guarded by a barrier that is not of stone or fire, but of absolute light. Perhaps the true location is not found in the coordinates of Mesopotamia or the depths of the Gulf, but in that void we feel when observing the perfection of nature and realizing that we no longer entirely belong to it. The promise of its existence is not an invitation to geographical exploration, but a reminder of our origin and the distance that separates us from our divine source. While humanity continues to look toward the stars and into the depths of the earth for answers, paradise will remain in silence, waiting for the moment when the barrier between the profane and the sacred dissolves forever. Because at the end of the day, Eden is not lost. We are lost to Eden, and as we attempt to decipher its secrets, the question continues to echo through the desert of time. Are we looking for a place to return to, or are we looking for redemption to finally be able to enter?